I believe it was the 1990s. It was definitely the 1990s. But South Park, for me, has always had like a very prominent place, not only in it's just kind of how I operate as a person, but probably because some of my comedy it has some influence from what Matt Stone and Trey Parker did. And quite honestly, I just remember it blowing up rapidly. And I don't know if South Park is as big as it was when in the 90s and 2000s, or even somewhat the 2010s. But either way, when I do watch anything South Park related, I feel like the comedy is still there. So when I heard that they're going to make a third South Park video game, I was kind of, and actually this would be the fourth, fifth. I don't know, there's been a lot of different South Park games that I think a lot of people don't acknowledge. One of them is Chef's Love Shack.
10 questions. Left, right, chooses the answer. Get 7 out of 10 correct to give Eric the pro.
You dumbass hippie motherfucker! My damn ass is always hell!
Which was a Jeopardy-style South Park game that was kind of fun, because essentially I had the multi-tap on the PlayStation, so me and my brother and my sister would all just play South Park's Chef's Love Shack, and it was a pretty fun game. But anyway, so whatever number this might be in terms of how many South Park video games that we've gotten, it definitely looks different, and that is because of the 3D style look that they decided to go with instead of the typical 2D, traditional South Park type of look that we saw in the first two games in Fractured Butthole, and then what I was gonna say, South Park and Inconvenient Truth for some reason, but the second South Park game. Let's see here, the Stick of Truth. Inconvenient Truth. Okay, so close enough. Anyway, so South Park Snow Day is essentially the newest game, and it is 3D. One of the things that I thought was really, really cool was the fact that they did price it at $29.99 rather than the traditional what we have now, which is $69.99. So there essentially is this thing with Matt Stone and Trey Parker where they appreciate the people that support them and watch their content. They also tend to be about the gamers and make sure that they give the best game possible, make sure that because they are gamers themselves, they're no different than myself or anybody else who plays video games. They are just like the chill dudes that really do always try to support and look out for the people that support them and look out for them. So it's a really cool, you don't get that with a lot of people, especially with people as big as Matt Stone and Trey Parker. You just don't get that. But anyway, this more 3D style look of South Park is definitely new. It did take me a little bit getting used to after the first trailer, because I was kind of like, I didn't know whether or not this was a new South Park game that Matt Stone and Trey Parker were working on, or if it was just something, for mobile or whatever it might be. But this actually kind of opens up the door to a lot of different things that they really couldn't do with just keeping it strictly to a 2D animation, which really is kind of exciting to me to see what possibilities or what things that they try with this new 3D style environment. And personally, I'm looking forward to playing South Park Snow Day, and I wanted to actually share with you, there's an IGN article that I essentially found that kind of talks about why they decided to move from 2D to 3D animation. So let's actually head over there right now and check out the article. I'm the worst. Matt Stone is struggling to kill Kenny. The South Park co-creator isn't in the midst of creative crisis. He's just battling against the iconic character in the latest game inspired by the series, South Park Snow Day. He's showing us a new 3D roguelike inspired fart fest ahead of the game's release on Xbox, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC later this month. Kenny, in his Princess Kenny persona, is attacking Stone's co-op team with anime-inspired hearts, white rainbows, swirl around. We came off the fractured butthole and we definitely wanted to do another video game, but we wanted to do something different. Stone told us as he played Snow Day with us in New York. We started talking about doing something a little different, more about replayability, more about being able to update characters. We always thought we wanted to do that thing where we do a thing in a show and then like it's in the game 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, or whatever it is. And with the fractured butthole and stick of truth, it's hard to do. So Stone and the development team at Question came up with an entirely new adventure for the South Park game to take on. Snow Day is a change of direction from the previous 2 South Park games of note, swapping the mechanics of big fantasy RPGs like Skyrim for chaotic co-op battles, as you take the role of a new kid to dash through snowy parts of the town fighting off enemies and guzzling cheesy poos health packs. The story is simple. It's snowing in South Park and the kids have a day off to play fantasy war games, but the snow won't stop, suggesting more than just climate could be at work. The previous games feel like you're in a South Park movie, says South Park Snow Day writer Jamil Salim, who also writes for the series and cameos as Token's dad in the Fractured Butthole. Oh, that's interesting. That's what the game is. There's a snow day. The kids are like, hell yeah, we gotta go play every single day. They just busted out. They have the whole entire world and galaxy. You know, it's a lot of the same characters from Stick of Truth and Dungeons and Dragons kind of theme stuff. I think at some point the voice turned back to his, but I'm just gonna roll with it because so there are still all the references you'll recognize from previous games: Wizard Cardman, the Chaos Minions, and Stan's Elvish Warriors, but with the added spice of bullshit cards to add OP abilities to your team and the different upgrades to deploy to make your next run one that counts. While you might spot some of the adult characters, this is a game about the kids, which made having them kick the crap out of each other much more entertaining. As you might have spotted in the trailer, everything has an added dimension for Snow Day. The characters in the town of South Park have gained a little weight with the full 3D makeover. Alright, cool. It looks great, like Funko Pops. It does. I mean, I think I had like 1 or 2 South Park Funko Pops, and yeah, just kind of, they're hand drawn, but they're 3D animated, and they look like you can pick them up, and yeah, okay. It is a weird look to it, but and you know, some people I'm sure are still not going to be on board with the look, but we got the first 2 in the 2D animated style, like a South Park, episode style, and now we're just going to get a full 3D game, so it's cool to get something different. Let's see, possessed by some sort of murderous demon, but also opened up the gameplay possibilities for the team at Question. The 2D stuff, amazing as it was to make those games, it was really, really hard when you think about what you have to work with. It's just very confined, how we even made those fights work, and it's in the freedom here to create. It's just a lot easier in the 3D realm, which, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the 3D realm, you essentially have a whole open world that you can essentially play around with, whereas 2D, it's basically having like a piece of cardboard, and you're only able to draw on that flat surface. It's definitely more difficult, so that's why I'm excited to see what they do with the 3D part of this game. I just accept that these are the South Park kids. I know it's a new look, but to me that makes total sense. I think we've learned a lot about the animation, and I think now we could really go further. Stone notes that pricing for Snow Day allowed the team to take a risk. The game is at $29.99, which, that's crazy. Come on, I mean, you can't beat that price. That's like NFL 2K when it was $20 versus Madden's $60. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get the freaking one that's $20, and it's better, by the way. It seems like the right size for us to try 3D for the first time, make it work, make all those systems. The one thing I also will say too is there's a lot of developers that do take chances or try something new, but you don't see them sitting there, decreasing the price of their game and cutting it in half. It's just, it's not something that is done in the gaming industry, and I respect them for doing this, because it's not like, I think this is being still published by Ubisoft, so kudos to Ubisoft. As you might have guessed, South Park episodes like informative murder porn and make love, not Warcraft, and the previous South Park RPGs, Stone and fellow South Park creator Matt Stone and Trey Parker. There are gamers. Stone cited Hades as one of the games that the team was playing when South Park Snow Days was born, but also revealed that one of the keys to getting another South Park game made is getting he and Parker interested in something that appeals to both their gaming sensibilities. I feel like, and I said this in before we got into this article, but Matt Stone and Trey Parker are gamers. They're like us. They want the best game possible, and I appreciate that a lot. Trey and I have totally different tastes in games. I could basically just button mash. I could just play fighting games all the time. I like strategy games a little bit. Trey likes RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons. I have to imagine Trey is probably playing Baldur's Gate 3. And real strategy games. He's a total board game freak and into just kind of more cerebral and rules based things. And again, I don't play those at all, so that is how we do at all. So then how do we make a game? So we talked about replayability and playing with friends, and that was also a big reason to do the 3D. Is like, wow, okay, that would be really cool to be able to do that with your friends and do this. You expect more from South Park, the show, later this year, and South Park Snow Day will be released on March 26th, which is not too far away. Alright, so there you have it. There's reason why they wanted to sit there and go 3D, and it was larger in scope, I would imagine, and trying new things as they had stated in this interview. The other thing too is the fact they cut it down to $29.99 because they were taking this risk and they didn't want gamers to feel kind of ripped off or whatever it might be. Another reason why this to me is a no-brainer for me to buy, but it's also just supporting them and letting them know that, hey, thank you so much for cutting this game out of $30. We're willing to try something new. That's an indie game price title, but it's made by published by a AAA publisher in Ubisoft. So it's pretty cool. And I definitely can't wait to try South Park Snow Day. But maybe y'all are feeling something different in terms of the animation style. If you are, definitely let us know in the comments down below. I can see why some people might not like it, but I always say try something new. Maybe you get used to it over time, and then kind of learn to appreciate developers going outside of the box and thinking differently and not just giving us the same game over and over again. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and thank you so much for chilling with me. I'll see y'all next gaming sessions.
Abducted by my brain and it drains all the dopamine. Pain leaving nothing but the dreams that have been holding me. Reality cracks and it falls at the openings. Blasted out center just to see all the broken dreams. Trapped in a track to be feeling like an acid dream. Feeling like I'm